hello again. Kamusta to all my Filipino friends. Hello to everybody all across the world listening to the Raw Facts. So today is part 5 in my information videos. And I want to start first of all by letting people know that we are going to actually have a separate channel for these information videos, and that channel is called the Comprehensive Philippine Guide. And I will have the link at the bottom, and also it'll come across the screen off and on. So you guys who are interested in this can actually go to that channel and subscribe there to get the regular updates. As I said, I had just started this as a sideline, but have gotten a very overwhelming response, and it's getting somewhat mixed up in the other videos that this channel is dedicated to, and also the comments are sometimes getting mixed up so people don't get responded. By streamlining this and having everything relating to the information videos on one channel, then you can see everything related to that on that channel. And if you put up a comment, you're sure to get a response. And as I said, we've had a lot of people commenting and asking questions, and even giving some opinions. And I think if we have all of that on a dedicated channel, then all who are interested can read comments and even comment themselves and ask their questions. So today I'm going to be giving some more information, as I said, about if you as a foreigner want to migrate to the Philippines, or even if you want to visit there. And one of the things that I want to talk about today is actually the cost of living in the Philippines. And a lot of people may be under the belief that the prices in the Philippines are way cheaper than in any of the first world countries. And one of the things that you have to appreciate is that most of the products that you would get in a first world country, you can get it in the Philippines, and the cost is practically the same. So fresh chicken costs almost the same. All other types of beef, pork, what have you, cost the same. Soft drinks, sugar, rice, all of these things cost pretty much the same. What is cheap in the Philippines is labor. So you can hire somebody to work for you. You can hire a driver to drive your car for a few $100s a month. Whereas in the States, you would be looking at, maybe 500 a week or something. Definitely not 200-300 a month. Also, to rent a place is fairly cheap. If you rent in the province, if you rent in the city, the condos are almost the same, a little bit cheaper, but still somewhat more expensive. You can get like a very small studio for about $300 or $400, and then it goes up from there. So the prices, you have to realize, are practically the same. If you go to the malls and you go to any of the restaurants, you're going to pay about the same price. You go to Pizza Hut, you're going to pay about the same price. If you're living in the province and you're going to buy what they call the street food, that's pretty cheap. That's not expensive. It's pretty cheap, but again, it depends if you can actually eat that, if you can stomach it. One thing that you would realize with Filipino food is it is a very salty type of food, or very sweet. So spaghetti there is very sweet, and other things are very salty. So there's a difference in taste, and if that's your thing, then you can eat that, and it's very cheap. But in terms of North American type food, you're going to pretty much pay the same thing that you pay overseas. In addition to that, if you're renting a condo or a house, what you're going to find is your electricity cost is about the same, and your water cost is about the same. Internet tends to be a little bit cheaper. If you're going to take a package from PLDT or Globe or one of these people, and you take one of the high bandwidth packages, it's going to cost you maybe $50, maybe $75. So again, it's almost the same as you would be paying anywhere overseas. What is cheap is cell phone usage. So you can get a monthly unlimited data plan on your cell phone for about maybe $10 or something like that. Phone calls on cell phone, if you're using the same network, it's very cheap. So that is something that you have to keep in mind. Also, another thing that you may have to keep in mind, since I'm talking about cell phone, there are many cell phone providers in the Philippines. There's Globe, there's Sun, there's Smart, there's Talk and Text, there's a number of them. And one of the things that you have to also know is, depending on where you're going, what is the coverage. So for example, you may go to a part of the Philippines where Sun has very good coverage, but Globe has poor coverage, or Talk and Text has poor coverage. So then what you need is Sun. Other parts are different. The main cell phone provider is Globe, and usually everybody has Globe, and it's widely used all across all the cities and a lot of the provinces. So this is one of the things that you have to know before you arrive. But even if you go there on your own and you're not going to see anybody, it's very easy. If you're in either Cebu or Manila, if you're in Cebu, you go to SM Mall. If you're in Manila, you can go to SM Mall of Asia. You can go to any of the malls, and you can buy a SIM card, a Globe SIM card, which would cost you maybe $1 or less. And then you put it in and you can top it up with an unlimited plan for about $10, and that'll give you data, it'll give you calling, and it'll give you texting. So you can get your SIM card and you can get going. So in terms of your cost of living there, it would probably run you about the same, if not more. If you're going to buy a vehicle, vehicles there are much more expensive. A new vehicle is more expensive than a new vehicle overseas. If you buy a 10-year-old vehicle in the Philippines, you're going to pay much more than if you bought a 10-year-old vehicle in the US or Canada, UK, or Australia. So a vehicle is going to cost you a lot more. The gas is more expensive. Insurance is practically non-existent, so you don't have to worry too much about that. In first world countries, insurance, they take an arm and a leg from you. In the Philippines, it's really minimal, and actually a lot of people even drive without insurance. So the law there is very lax on insurance. You don't have to worry too much there, again, because when you're driving, if you hit somebody, it's your responsibility to fix. Insurance doesn't come into play. If you, God forbid, you kill somebody, there's no liability insurance that you have, but the understanding there is you pay the funeral costs and whatever for the deceased, which may run you a couple $1,000s. Whereas in a first world country, you hit somebody and they die, you're looking at a lawsuit for millions of dollars. So you need liability insurance. So this is something that you have to take into consideration. Now, another thing that you have to take into consideration when you're going to the Philippines is the province where you're going. If you have a Filipina, you have to find out from her what bank is in that province or in that barangay. You're close to the barangay, because in the Philippines, again, you have Metro Bank, you have BDO, you have Land Bank, you have PS Bank, you have a number of banks, but not all are in every province or barangay within close proximity. In the city, you will get all of them. So obviously, if you're going to a certain part of the Philippines, you want to know what bank it is there. So if you're going to open an account, you open an account at that bank, and then if you have to transfer your money from overseas, you can transfer it there. Also, if you're going to be using your credit or debit card from overseas to withdraw money in the Philippines, you also have to know which banks will accept your cards. one of the things that I have found is that some banks will only give you 10,000 pesos, and that 10,000 pesos you have to pay probably $5 ATM fee, and then your bank charges you a fee. Other banks will give you 20,000 pesos. So, for example, BPI will only give you 10,000 pesos. China Bank doesn't even accept the foreign cards. Metro Bank is good in that they will give you 20,000 pesos. You pay the same $5 ATM fee and your bank charge. So, I mean, obviously, if you need to withdraw 200,000 pesos from your account and you have to do it by 10,000, it's a lot more than if you do it by 20,000. If you go into the banks there with your ID and your card, you're going to have a hard time withdrawing money from your credit card or from your debit card. They are very, very tight on that kind of thing. Sometimes if you know somebody, you can get your money withdrawn. So this is some of the things that you have to think about. One of the things, as I close now, what I would like to actually tell people is that when you go to the new channel and you subscribe there, because there's so much information that I have to give out, I try to keep the videos within 10 minutes and I try to cover everything, but I may not be able to. So if you have something that you want me to cover, you put it there in the comments and you say, look, I'm interested in knowing about this or finding out about that. And in that way, I can actually address those specific things in a video, so you would have it on record rather than me sending you a comment or something. You could also email, and through that channel, I'll email you back and give you the details and give you all the information. So this is just the video, as I said today, to let you know about the new channel, also give you some idea of the costs in the Philippines. And from my next video, it's going to be on the new channel, so part 6 and onwards would be on the new channel. And on this channel, the Raw Facts, it's going to be specifically dedicated to what we started out for, which is exposing and getting these web scammers and web beggars closed down. So thanks again to everybody for watching. I appreciate you taking your time. God bless, and have a great day wherever you are.